Welcome to the Chicken Crew Hatching Out Facts, a chicken facts broadcast brought to you by the exceptional Pottsboro Area Library and Raise Up Radio. Stay tuned to the end of this episode for more information on Raise Up Radio's program and mission. This week, we have an egg experiment you can conduct while listening to today's interview. As Brendan and Lydia Pine talk about all things egg, you can test the strength of those eggs yourself. After all, if eggshells are really so fragile, how do they protect the chicken embryo, and how can a mother hen sit on them without breaking them? For this experiment, you'll need an egg, 2 bottle caps, and whatever heavy objects you'd like to test the egg strength with, such as books, food cans, or even small containers full of water. To prepare the egg for the trials to come, place 1 bottle cap upside down on the counter and place the egg on top of it. This will ensure that the egg doesn't roll away. Then, place the other bottle cap on the top of the egg, like a little hat. This gives us a flat surface to balance our objects on to test the egg's strength. Once you've set up the egg's stand and hat with bottle caps, you can begin placing objects on top of the egg's hat. You'll be surprised just how much that one little egg can hold up. After you feel the lone egg has been thoroughly tested, if you want, you can test how much more it can hold up with a few friends. Add 2 more eggs, giving them matching bottle cap stands and hats, and position the 3 eggs in a triangle. Place a piece of cardboard on top of the 3 eggs for a bigger surface area to place objects on top of. With the strength of 3 eggs combined, you should be able to stack even more on top of them than with just 1 egg. The reason eggs are able to hold up as much weight as they do is because of the dome structure of their shells. Their unique shapes distribute weight applied to the top of the egg throughout the entire egg, preventing it from breaking.
Our experts for this week is Lydia Pine, interviewed by her son, Brendan Pine. The Pine family is experienced in raising chickens and currently care for roughly 60 of them. Today, they'll be covering the facts on the first thing a lot of people think of when raising chickens comes up, the eggs.
What is the lifespan of a chicken-laying hen?
It is around 8 years. It can be more or less, but that's the average lifespan. We have on our farm some chickens that are about 7 years, so I guess they're on their way out. They don't lay as much. That's how you know they're getting a little older if they're not sick.
How many days does a hen lay an egg?
They can lay an egg a day, so around 300 a year if they are a well-producing hen.
Does the breed affect laying?
Yes, the breed can affect the laying of the egg. Certain breeds lay more eggs than others, such as Rhode Island Reds and Leghorns. They lay more than other birds, like some of the fancy birds, the Polish crested birds lay less. The Silkies, they don't lay as much as the other ones.
How does an eggshell get made, and what is an eggshell made of?
Okay, so an egg is produced in the uterus of the chicken. It usually is a process that takes about 20 hours. So they usually do this overnight and they're ready to lay in the morning. It's made of calcium deposits, and that process is called calcification.
Why do you have to put a chicken egg in the fridge after you wash it?
When you wash the chicken egg, it removes the protective cover around it. This is the bloom that happens right at the end when the egg is being produced by the chicken. It protects it from bacteria.
Do you know if different countries have different regulations when it comes to raising chickens and preparing eggs?
I think only if you're a commercial farmer do you have regulations on your eggs. Some European countries, they have their egg cartons just on the shelves and not refrigerated because they don't have the same regulations as we do in America, where if you're selling your eggs to the stores, you have to wash them prior.
How do you know how long an egg you want to eat will last?
You can do a float test. That's what we do with our eggs, just to check them out if we're unsure how long they've been in the nesting box, which rarely happens. The older an egg is, the larger the air sac will be, so that creates that buoyancy and causes it to float.
How long does it take for eggs to hatch?
21 days, give or take a day, because they could be older or younger depending on when the other chickens laid them, if you're hatching out a clutch of eggs.
What's the average number of eggs produced daily, weekly, yearly, etc.?
So daily, they can only lay 1 egg a day. Weekly, anywhere from 1 egg to 7. And yearly, anywhere from 100 to 300. I haven't heard of a chicken that lays an egg every day. Oh, and also it depends on the breed, the age, what you're feeding your chicken, and the weather. If it's too hot, they're not going to lay. If it's too cold, they're not going to lay.
How many eggs does an average family consume in a year?
I'm not sure. My family eats about 3 dozen eggs a week. We eat a lot of eggs because we have a lot of eggs. So that's about 156. The average family maybe eats half of that amount.
Do fertilized eggs taste different than unfertilized eggs?
I'm not sure. I personally don't think they taste different, but some people think they do.
Why do eggs come in different colors?
It has to do with their genetics. When eggs are forming, the pigment gets deposited right towards the end, and that creates the egg color. There's a way you can play with the genetics of chickens to get certain egg colors. There's a whole science to it.
Do all eggs taste the same? A, different chicken breeds, and B, different types of bird.
We have guineas and quails, and I think that their eggs taste a little meatier, maybe richer than chicken eggs. I like the way their eggs taste.
Do you have any fun chicken stories or experiences to share with us?
There's tons of fun stories, but one that I really enjoyed was hatching out chickens and being able to hatch out a chicken in my hand. That was a really cool experience.
Thanks for joining us this week. Don't lose your head, because we'll be right back next week with more chicken facts, egg trials, and the answer to the question, how can you detect a sick chicken? If you still can't wait that long to learn more about our lovely feathered friends, go to the Pottsboro Library's website at pottsborolibrary.com, where you can find a map of chicken supply assets and owners in the area. That's POTTSBORO library.com.
For updates on the Chicken Crew, hatching out facts, and the Pottsboro Library's other programs, projects, and various going-ons, check us out at the Pottsboro Library on Facebook and at Pottsboro Lib on Twitter. To keep up to date on Raise Up Radio's projects as a whole, follow at RIN Libraries on Twitter.
The Chicken Crew, Hatching Out Facts, is part of Raise Up Radio, a program designed to address educational inequities in rural areas and create a new community of practice for library professionals. This program is part of a research study conducted by the University of North Texas and University of Alabama, made possible in part by the Institute of Museum and Library Services through IMLS grant number RE250133 OLS21. For more information on this project and what other libraries are making through it, go to rurl.ci.unt.edu. That's rurl.ci.unt.edu. Thanks for listening.